Welcome once again to Hillview University. In continuation of our database programming course, today we will be attaching a database. My name is Olugbenga Oguntoku. To access a database or its object, you can either create a database and access its objects from your created database, or if you have a database file which is an already made database, you can actually attach to your database engine. That way you can have access to that database file and its object. The last time we met, we were able to install SQL Server 2012 on our computer, and it came with the system databases and also report server and report server tempdb. Now, the object of this lesson is to get a user database that we can practice development work or administration work on. We can find this database from Microsoft CodePlex site. And we are going to be using the AdventureWorks database as our example. We will get the AdventureWorks database file from CodePlex, and we will attach it to our database engine. In that way, we can start writing queries, we can start our administration work. So let's go to codeplex.com. So codeplex.com, hit enter, and it takes you to CodePlex. You can read a little bit about what CodePlex is, and you come to search, and you search for AdventureWorks. Make sure you search for 2012, because that is the version that we have, and enter. Select that and click enter. Alright, so you come to Microsoft SQL Server product samples and you click that. That takes you to the this is 2014. I'm actually looking for 2012. Alright, so this is AdventureWorks 2012. Let's use this link. Alright, so this is AdventureWorks 2012, AdventureWorks for SQL Server 2012 download page. And what we want to download is the data file, because apart from the data file for AdventureWorks, it also has other types of files. You can have the script where you will just run the script, and you also have an image. But we want to, for our demonstration today, we want to download the data file. And this data file is different from this other data file, which has a CS. The CS stands for the case sensitive collation. We would want the case insensitive collation so that we don't bother if we are writing our queries in upper or lower case. So we will click this AdventureWorks 2012 data file and install it onto our hard drive. So you see that it goes straight into our download folder in File Explorer. Let's give this a while for it to download. So right now I have downloaded the data file for Microsoft SQL Server AdventureWorks 2012 database, and I've also gone ahead to download the light version, the light edition of AdventureWorks 2012, and also the data warehouse edition. So these three files are the MDF files, for your AdventureWorks database, and they're now in my download folder. However, when I attach my databases, what I do is I navigate to where SQL Server keeps, and navigate to where SQL Server keeps the MDF files that it uses to run databases. This can be found in your C drive. This can be found in the part where you installed SQL Server when you were installing. The part that you installed SQL Server in when you were installing the SQL Server software. For me, it's on my C drives, program files, Microsoft SQL Server. What I'm looking for is MS SQL. This can be MSAS11, or on your own server it might be MSAS12, but all you want is the .mssql server. MSSQL server. That is the folder that you are interested in. Your MSSQL11 rather. Your MSSQL11.mssql server is the folder you are looking for. So your Microsoft SQL 11, or it could be Microsoft SQL 12.mssql server, that is the folder that you are looking for. So once you click your MSSQL 11.mssql server folder, you come to MSSQL, and then you find the data folder. Inside the data folder, this is where Microsoft stores the MDF, the .mdf files and the log files for your database. So what I do, you can see that the system databases are already here. What I'm going to do now is copy the files that I have on my download, the files that I download, the 3 of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy those files onto my data folder, trying to arrange it in a way where I can see both. So I copy my 3 files and I drop them in the data folder. Now you can see that the 3 files are in the data folder for Microsoft SQL Server. So once again, I recap. Your MDF file for AdventureWorks 2012 is your AdventureWorks 2012_data.mdf. That is the file that we're going to be using to install AdventureWorks, to attach AdventureWorks onto our SQL Server. What I just did was I went ahead and downloaded the MDF for AdventureWorks Lite and AdventureWorks Data Warehouse. So let's flip back to SQL Server Management Studio. So to attach a database to SQL Server Management Studio, like I said earlier on, all we have right now is our system databases. To attach our user database for our practice, which is AdventureWorks, that we have gone ahead to get from Codeplex, you right click on the database node, and on the menu that pops up, you click attach. Your attached database screen comes on, and you can see in your attached database screen a page general, which is the only page that is available, and then you can see on databases to attach, you can see the location of the MDF file, the database name, attach as, the owner, status, and the message. To attach our database, the MDF file that we have just downloaded, to attach it, we click on the add button. Once you click on the add button, SQL Server knows to go and open up the data folder that we put our MDF file in earlier. So it opens up the MSSQL 11.mssql server folder and navigates all the way to the data folder. that is where it expects our MDF files. And we can see that we already have our AdventureWorks 2012 data.mdf that we actually moved from our download folder into our data folder earlier on. So what we do is we select the MDF file for the database we are interested in, which is the AdventureWorks 2012 _ data.mdf. Once we do this, we click OK. And right now on the attached databases screen, we find out that our MDF location has been populated with the location where we picked up our MDF file from, the same location. And also it has given a name for the database, and there is an attach as field. This attach as field, you can actually change it to whatever name you want to call your database, the alias that you want to give your database. Once it's attached, you can change this as the name that you want. So right now we're going to leave it as the default AdventureWorks 2012. The owner, you can change the owner of the database. We'll be discussing database owners subsequently, and the status and message. So those are the fields that are available to you in the databases to attach section. And once you move to the databases details section, you find out that first you have two rows here. The first one is your database file name, which is the first one, what we just attached, AdventureWorks 2012 _ data.mdf, which is a data file. And then the path, it has no message, which for our installation is good. And then we have another file, which is a log file, the .ldf file. We'll be talking about log files and the MDF files in our subsequent classes. Right now, the log file says not found, and that is actually normal because we did not attach a log file. So right now what we are going to do is that we're going to click on the log file and we're going to remove it. If we don't remove it, it would hinder us from attaching this database successfully. So what we're going to do now, after removing the log file, is we're going to click OK. Once we click OK, SQL Server goes ahead and attaches the file. And then you can see that on our list, apart from our system databases, we now have an AdventureWorks database that is attached. And in the AdventureWorks database, we can navigate the object and see the objects that are available that we can use as our sandbox for learning how to write efficient queries or how to manage the SQL Server implementation that we are assigned to. So to test that this is working okay, let's select the top 1000 rows. The top 1000 rows is selected, and we can see the results right here. So we have been able to successfully attach the AdventureWorks 2012 database. Now, to recap, let's attach another database. So right now, to attach a database, we go to the database node, right click, attach, and what we do is we add. When we add, we have another database, the Lite, AdventureWorks Lite data.mdf files. Let's attach that one. Click OK. This time, let's leave both the data and the log file and see what happens. So we click OK. Once we click OK, Microsoft gives us an error that says an error occurred when attaching the database. Click the hyperlink in the message column for details. We know why. We did not supply a log file, and we are trying to attach the log file. So if you go ahead and do this, it will give you the error that we saw, and then it will put an X in a red circle in this database to attach section of your attached databases page. So if you find yourself seeing that error, this error, if you find that when you attach databases you are seeing this error, all you just need to do is come back and click on the log file. Click on the log file row and click remove. Once you click remove, watch what we have here. We only have AdventureWorks 2012 here. Once we click remove and we remove the log file, we click OK, and successfully we install AdventureWorks Lite 2012. So here we can actually look at the objects also. Lite is a very scaled down version of your AdventureWorks database. You have less schema, and you can actually do things faster in the Lite database than the AdventureWorks full database. If we select top 1000 rows in this one, we find out that we find our data complete, so we can use this database, and we have been able to successfully install both AdventureWorks and AdventureWorks Lite database. Quickly, let's install the data warehouse version. Same steps. Database node, right click, attach. Once we get to attach, you click add. It takes you to the data page where you have your MDF files already saved, and you can click the data warehouse. Before we click the data warehouse, let's see what happens if we try to attach the same file that we already did. Let's see what happens. So we click AdventureWorks 2012 data and see that we know that we already attached that. So let's see what happens. It gives you an error saying that it failed to retrieve this because you have already attached this file to the database. So we don't want to do that. Just wanted to show you as a way of demonstration that you can only attach a database file once. As long as you did not delete it previously, you can only attach it once. If you try to attach an already attached database, it gives you this error. So what we want to do now is attach the data warehouse version. So we click OK. We remember to remove our log file. Once we remove our log file, we click OK, and then we have AdventureWorks data warehouse version. So in this class, we've been able to successfully attach our database to our SQL Server Management Studio, and we are ready to start administering SQL Server using this practice database, and also start learning how to develop our SQL queries and other things in SQL Server Management Studio 2012. Thank you so much for viewing. If you have any need for an assistance, or you need me to explain any other thing, you can contact me on by any of this way, and I will respond to your message. Thanks again for viewing. We will be moving ahead in our subsequent classes.